Hi everyone, welcome to the Workin' Dirt channel. I'm Joel, and now in part 4 of 4 in the video series how to install a vinyl plank flooring, I'm going to show you how to deal with those pesky transitions. There's a lot of details that go into them, and I'm going to show you how to put a little makeup on your floor, or in other words, put some laminate caulking down to kind of fill in the little cracks and mishaps to really just put the finishing touch on your floor so that you can now invite that party over and enjoy it with plenty of people. So stay tuned. Here we go. When you open your transition strip, you're going to find that you'll have a metal track and probably some screws and anchors. In this case, I only have 4 anchors and 4 screws, which is never enough. So I always buy extra, and the size I use is a number 6 that's about 1 inch to 1.25 inches long. And then you'll probably also want some glue for extra insurance for durability, not just screwing it down. And then a vacuum, a chisel to clean your floor, a screw gun, and then once you have the materials you need, you're going to need to install your base molding back on, whether it's the old or new. In this case, they put the old back on because they want to match the rest of the room. And so we will take a finished measurement from this edge to this edge and cut our transition strip. And before we go to glue and screw it down, I cannot stress enough, you always want a nice flat, smooth, clean surface. So use your chisel, use whatever you can to get any crumbs or glue or whatnot off the floor. Now, another thing to note is that sometimes your existing floor might be a lot lower, a lot higher than the floor you just installed, and so sometimes you might need to put a spacer underneath this metal track, and so I'll use anything from wood to a hard paper product underneath and shim it, but you do have a little give or variance that it will still clip in. So in this case, this linoleum thin, it will clip in. So now it's time to get started with measuring and cutting. Now when you measure, get as accurate as possible, and in this case we have 47 and 13/16. And what's important to note is that when you go to measure and cut your transition, you want to use like a pencil or a ballpoint pen so you get a nice fine line. And so I'll make my line. Now there's my line, which might be hard to see, but what's important to know is that when you go to cut, you want to cut on the left or right side depending on what piece you want to save. So make notes. So I can make a little scribble here, and that'll tell me, okay, put my blade on the left side, because your blade is about 1/8 inch wide. You don't want to cut on this side or else your transition is going to be short. And that might just be a minor detail some people don't care about, but if you want to be a craftsman, it matters. So we will cut that. Now cutting the metal track for your transition, you can take about 1/4 inch off your full measurement just so it's easier to work with. And you can use a pair of tin snips to cut it, but these will work fine, except it will kind of mangle the end just a little bit. And so for a cleaner cut, you can use your chop saw. Just go nice and slow and wear eye protection and hold it nice in front. Nothing more than hard tin foil. You don't need much glue, just a little extra. And what I like to use is this Fuse It at Home Depot. It's not cheap, it's about $7, $8 a bottle, but it seems to work pretty dang good in many situations. We call it the fuzz. Keep it like a 1/16 or 1/8 away from your floor so you don't get squeaks of your floor rubbing up against it. So there's that, and we'll put a couple screws. Now when you put your screws in, you don't want to put them in too hard, because what will happen is you probably can't see in the camera, if I put that screw in a lot, it's going to pull in the metal, make it hard to clip in your track. And that'll drive you crazy and make a hard day. So sometimes I'll put it in a little more and then back it up. Now clicking your transition strip in takes a little finesse, because if you just put it on top and try to like hit it down, it's just not gonna go in correctly. It's gonna bend something. So the best way is to start at an angle and kind of look at the two little pieces that need to go in this track, line them up, and then kind of put them in, slide it to the edge. Once you got that in, then you kind of work it like a Ziploc bag. And by me bending it a little bit, it's actually making it a little thinner and easier to push in too. So just hold it up a little bit, bend it, and you can hear it clip in. If it's not making that noise, it's not going in. There we go. And then just give it a little love. There you go. All right, you're almost ready to invite your friends over for your party, but you need to still fill in any crease, ding, or crack that you have to prevent dirt and dander or whatever you got from going underneath, and it just creates an overall nice finished product by filling in your cracks. Now, the most common place is at your door jambs. If you were to have undercut your door jamb, then you would probably have a gap on the vertical surface. In that situation, you'd want to use white caulking. But since our crack is in between the floor and the jamb on the horizontal surface, we're going to use the Laminate Caulk by Roberts, and it's gray. And a little tip, you can save money by trying to find a door and window sealant that matches your color, because you get a little more for your money, and they have quite a few colors in stock. But if not, this is what we have. So we're going to use this gray sealant right here. Now, go ahead and make those invitations. All right, that'll conclude our video series on how to install luxury vinyl plank flooring. And I know there are many other situations and complications that might come up, but this video series was just to give you the tips and tricks and confidence to tackle the simplest of floors. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. It helps our channel support veterans, trails, and charities each quarter. And till next time, work it dirt. Okay.